Alright, what's going on there, YouTube? So today I have me a 1974 Leatherface mask. As many of you guys know, I'm a big fan of Dead by Daylight. So I had this wild hair up my ass to basically turn this mask into a Leatherface Dead by Daylight mask. So, as many of you guys know, I love Dead by Daylight, I love horror things, so I figured why not make a tutorial and make my own Leatherface mask from Dead by Daylight using the Trick or Treat Studios version. I think this is a very good sculpt to work off of. I don't think this is all that bad as a template. So, I mean, just a few modifications. All we really have to do is cut out the mouth, either remove these eyebrows completely and use other ones, or just leave them out, or trim them up. Trim up the hair, or use some hair product and maybe a straightening iron to get this to look a lot more spikier looking. So that's another idea that I'm going to be doing. Um, how might I go about doing a little bit of this stuff? So, what I had in mind was when I remove this mouth, because a lot of people that own this mouth actually remove a lot of people that own this mask remove the mouth because the mouth is what throws the rest of this mask off, that and the eyebrows. So, what I'm going to be doing as a replacement for this is wearing gag teeth, like goofy teeth that you get at like the Dollar Tree or Kmart, Walmart, what have you, and basically just wearing those while under the mask. So it would basically be the same exact thing, only it looks a lot more authentic and real that way. So that's one idea, and either just throwing away the original molded in piece, or if I wanted to wear the crappy original molded in piece, I would just put some Velcro on the back of the mask and just stick it back on there. So that's one idea I had, maybe. That or yeah, the goofy teeth. So, and it also comes with this malleable wireframe, kind of like from the movie. We're basically going to be removing this piece, and I'm sorry to the YouTuber whose name I can't remember, but I got this idea from him, so all credit goes to him on this. You've probably seen the video if you've looked up a few of these modification masks people have done. Is what he's done is he's taken a wire hanger, a metal one, and he's cut it. And basically, what he's done is he's put it into the mask and he's glued it to the back of the mask. Where I'm going to be gluing it is pretty much in the same area, but I'm going to be gluing it all the way up to the cheekbones here that almost go up to the eyeballs, because as you can see in the sculpt of the mask, there's room, or there's sculpted in room where the wire hanger would actually sit to make the mask come out a little bit. And even in the film, if you've watched the 1974 Leatherface, his mask actually sits off his face a little bit because of that wire hanger that he's got in the mask. So that's one feature that I'm also going to be doing. So um, the eyebrows, again, I may or may not keep these. I'm not entirely sure. I think the eyebrows look a little bit like crap. I'm thinking about just completely removing them, putting in new ones, or trimming these up and seeing what I can do with them. Let's see. The hair, I'm thinking about using maybe some pomade or dry shampoo to keep the hair more fluff and more up off of his head, to kind of give it that volume that you see in the 1974 film or from Dead by Daylight specifically, as well as taking a straightening iron. I'm going to be very careful with the straightening iron though, because I think this is synthetic hair and I do not want to burn this hair, because if I burn this hair, it's more than likely actually going to melt because it's plastic and it's not authentic hair. So that's an idea that I'm probably going to be doing with that. I may or may not dye this hair because in the film it's actually black or a very dark brown, and it's actually not a light brown. So I may do that, but that's a feature I may or may not do, because obviously I don't want to fuck up the mask either. Unnecessary changes that I may not have to do. Um, let's see here. I may cut it too if I have to, but that's only if I have to. I don't really want to cut away hair that I know is not going to grow back in the mask. So that is that. This is also a feature I may or may not do. Whether or not you guys think I should do it, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm thinking about cutting this to make this actual two pieces, and then either putting in real authentic stitching, kind of like this, into the mask, or just leaving it as is and probably not working with that. I'll see where I'm at with the mask, and if I really want to make that change, then I'll go ahead and make that change. But I'm gonna do everything else first, and and see if I really want to do something like that. I'm gonna take some acrylic paint and repaint in a lot of these creases to make them look a lot more darker in color. So it gives it that more creepier vibe to it. As well as the eye sockets in the video game. You know, in Dead by Daylight, his eye sockets are very black and very brownish in color up through about the cheekbone area. So to give it that creepy look as well, I'm going to be painting in the eye sockets to give it that feel as well. And yeah, I mean, that's really all the modifications that I'm going to be doing. If you guys actually have any modifications, let me know too, because I'm all ears, you know. I mean, if we even swap over to my desktop here, you can see that some of the things that I have to do, you know, like that I've mentioned, the modifications that I'm going to be doing to the mask, you know. So here we have the Dead by Daylight model view from the artist himself. So I mean, some of the paint isn't all there because in the game the paint, the texture is more vivid and more out there. So it's a lot more black in these eye sockets here. I actually didn't even know that the actual model had eyebrows. I actually think I thought the eyebrows were removed because it was so black around his eye sockets that you couldn't even tell there was eyebrows there. So I guess he actually sculpted in some eyebrows into the mask. So like I said, though, if I can just get away with just putting in a bunch of black and brown acrylic paint around this eye socket, I may not even have to do that. As well as the stitching in his forehead. I didn't mention that, but yeah, I'm also going to be using some stitching in the forehead. I'm thinking about using some twisty ties. So, whoops, yeah, just dropped it, but I'm thinking about using some twisty ties. If I use twisty ties and basically, you know, put them into the forehead there, that could also look like stitching too. So that's something I may or may not do, or I may use actual thread. Haven't really decided on that yet. That was just an idea I came up with. You know, we have the 1974 Leatherface here, and then we have the Dead by Daylight again. And so, as you can see, side-by-side comparison, there's some things that I have to do to the hair. Again, the hair is a lot more black. There's the wireframe that I was talking about that we have to do, and there's just a lot of things that I have to very carefully look at and very much visualize, you know, before I start cutting away at this mask. Because obviously, you know, once I fuck up, you know, and I can't go back. But I'm thinking in the forehead, it's actually cut out of his forehead. Like pieces of the latex are actually going to have to be cut out of the forehead because I think this is an actual hole in the skin. So I may have to actually cut there, and that's probably why the stitching's there in the mask to begin with. So, I mean, if you guys have any ideas with modifications, please let me know because I'm trying to get this to look a lot like Dead by Daylight's Leatherface while also taking a few key features from the 74 film. So, yeah, you guys are along the ride with me, you know, so if this turns out to look like crap, you know, well, we'll see if it turns out to look like crap. So I hope you guys have a good one. I'm going to be posting, you know, part videos of what things I've done to the mask, you know, like cutting it out, you know, with the mouth, the acrylic paint and all that. The acrylic paint might actually come next week for my next paycheck again, so, you know, I'm going to hold off until then. So hopefully you guys had a good one, and yeah, see you later.